Everybody's favorite Sarlacc survivor is back in action, and the Star Wars Underworld will never be the same. In the first teaser for the Book of Boba Fett, we see the son of Jango moving methodically to take over Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire, and he seems to be using some familiar tactics. We're still not sure if this spells good things or bad for the Outer Rim, but one thing is certain. He's trying to do what Darth Maul did with criminal syndicates in the Clone Wars. So let's take a look at what Boba is even up to in this teaser and why he very well might succeed where Darth Maul did not. Let's start with the biggest reveal in this teaser, which is basically Boba Fett's whole plan. He wants to unite the criminal syndicates currently operating in Jabba's old territory, and he wants to do this to maximize everybody's profits and influence. We get a shot of Jabba's throne room before Fennec Shand informs us that everyone gathered at the table used to be a captain in Jabba's organization. Real quick, here's who we see at the table: a few Aqualish, a group of Klatooinians, and some Trandoshans. Okay, so like we mentioned in the intro, Darth Maul tried something pretty similar during the Clone Wars, and we think Boba Fett might have a little more luck with the same idea this time around. Apparently, these former Jabba captains are all beefing with each other, and Boba Fett tells them basically that they should all unite.
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
In the Clone Wars, Darth Maul created the Shadow Collective, which united the Hutts, the Pikes, the Black Sun, the Night Brothers, and the Mandalorian Death Watch to become a force so deadly and ruthless that Emperor Palpatine had to personally deal with them at least once. Maul also went on to lead Crimson Dawn, an entirely different criminal syndicate that he led well into the Imperial era. We don't know how his tenure commanding Crimson Dawn ended. We only know that it does somehow, as Maul is back out on his own when he appears in Star Wars Rebels, and now thanks to the comics, we know that Qi'ra eventually replaces him as Crimson Dawn's leader. And this is where Boba Fett could very well succeed where Maul didn't. Above everything else, Maul served the dark side, and amassing so much power at once just put him on the radar of the wrong people. Whether an alliance with Jabba's former captains happens or not, Boba Fett will need to fly under the radar if he wants to succeed. And it just so happens that Boba Fett knows a little about that too. Anyway, back to the meeting. A Klatooinian asks a pertinent question.
What prevents us all from killing you?
Fennec Shand responds by reminding them how Jabba would have answered that question by feeding them to the menagerie, which is just a fancy way of saying hungry rancor. Anyway, just to recap, Boba Fett, the guy who just said he wouldn't rule with fear, basically threatens to kill everyone in the room.
I intend to rule with respect.
Yeah, respect based on fear is still just fear, dude. Everything in this teaser seems to take place on Tatooine. You got Jabba's palace, obviously, but is this Mos Eisley just grown to a sprawling city now over time? Or is this a different Tatooine location altogether, like Mos Espa perhaps? Let us know what you think in the comments. Anyway, we got some Tusken Raiders in the desert, and this little guy is a Bomar monk. According to old expanded universe lore, these guys were actually the real owners of Jabba's palace, and he was always just kind of squatting there. The Bomar monks ritualistically removed their own brains that would then have to be carried around by a spidery looking droid. Interesting guys, those Bomar monks. The teaser makes it pretty clear that this show is going to focus on the Star Wars Underworld, and that term right there is its own Easter egg. Star Wars Underworld was the working title of what was supposed to be the first ever Star Wars live-action series that was first announced back in 2005. Of course, that series never got made, but here we are in 2021, and we're about to see the second Disney Plus series focusing on the seedier side of the Star Wars galaxy. And Star Wars seems to be exploring its underworld in a bigger way, not just here. Marvel Comics is about to launch Star Wars Crimson Reign, which will focus on Emilia Clarke's Qi'ra's adventures with the Crimson Dawn crime syndicate. Anyway, the teaser. We see an important-looking Ithorian, and he has fancy clothes and a Twi'lek servant, which makes us think he's wealthy. And since he seems to know who's currently seated on Jabba's throne, makes us think he gained his wealth through less than legitimate means. Also appearing in this teaser is Jennifer Beals playing what looks like a wealthy Twi'lek. Who is she? Where is she? And what is she even doing there? We still really don't know, but based on the fact that every other character in this teaser is a criminal, It's pretty likely that she is too. Anyway, what's your take on the Book of Boba Fett, and what did you think of that new trailer? Let us know down in the comments, and for all of your Outer Rim bounty hunting needs, keep it right here on IGN.
Throne of your former employer.
Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.